Thank you, Paul. I forgot to turn the microphone up. There we go. Yes, rookie mistake there. How silly of me. So, let's see how we've got two people watching. So yes, cool. You can hear me okay, can you? That's good. As I was saying, as you can probably see if you were watching these live streams before, I was up in my office, and that was a rather dull blank wall behind me. Today I'm down in the conservatory, and while the background might be slightly nicer, the heavens have decided to open, so I don't know how loud the rain is. It's raining quite hard, so yeah, whether you can hear the rain above me, hopefully you can. So who have we got here? We've got one person watching so far. Blue Moon and Paul. So where is Blue Moon and where is Paul? Be good to know. Here we go. We've got a few more people joining us now. I don't know how delayed all of this is. The big success for me today is actually... Oh, that's good to know, Blue Moon. Yeah, I was saying the big success for me today is knowing that I can get on and do the live stream for when I've planned it. And I said on the Facebook group that I'd be going live at 12 o'clock, and I think I hit that pretty close. Morning, Jamie. Lovely and sunny up there in Scotland. Well, as you can see, it's chucking it down with rain here. Horrible, isn't it? So at least you've got a nice day up there today. Hopefully you'll be going out and doing a bit of cycling. I think it might just be a Zwift session for me today. Zwift or Keno map, yeah. So who else have we got? We've got Robert Nicol in New Jersey. Hello there, Robert. And we've got Paul McPhee in Gateshead, lovely part of the world up there. Hello, David. Yes, it does make a change, doesn't it? I always get the feeling that up in Scotland it's always raining. Refreshing rain here in Hampshire. Well, that's where I am, Paul. Whereabouts in Hampshire are you? I'm just north of Portsmouth, so yes, I think we're probably experiencing and enjoying the same rain. Well, let me go over to. It's all going a bit fast on the chat for me. So rain on the way there. Hello from Norway. Hi, har du det gott I Norway? Did I say that right? So I probably said it in Danish actually, but there we go. And somebody in the Wirral, Mel in Weymouth, Tom in Wheaton, Illinois. Hello there, Germany. Hot days in Sydney. Hello from Greece, Japan, Devon. Hello, Anita. You're in Thailand, I believe, aren't you? Almost correct. Yes, that's interesting because I'm looking now on the live thing on YouTube. I've moved over to YouTube now, and it's horribly delayed for some reason. So if you're watching, could you just tell me if the video is in sync with what I'm saying? So essentially my lips should be moving in time with what I'm saying. Somebody could just confirm that for me, please. Oh, in sync, good. Thank you, Grantonian. You've got a flat, have you, Jamie? No spare tubes until... I've got about 200 of them here. Shame you... Good, no problem. You're in sync with yourself. Yeah, it's just really, really weird. I'm watching it all on the OBS now, and it does seem to be in sync. But I'm just going to... Obviously, you won't see this, but I'm just going to flick over to watch it on YouTube live, and it's horribly behind. Horribly. So maybe there's just some sort of delay that, yeah, who knows. So what's everyone up to today? As I've been saying, it's raining here in Hampshire, so yeah, unfortunately, I'm not going to go out and hit the road. It's all a bit too wet for me, despite it being very nice the last few days. It's been beautifully sunny, beautifully warm, but the wind has just been terrible. I don't know if it's just me or if if the wind genuinely has been strong. I don't know. Perhaps you can say how it's been where you've all been and how much cycling you've all been managing to do or not managing to do, as the case may be. So here we got here. So just going through your comments again. Hello there, Mushaid in Wembley. So Chris is regularly using the fat bike for resistance. Off work until Monday. Probably go out running. Running, Jamie. There, oh dear. That sounds a bit tough. Jonathan Butters, 50 miles this week so far. Looking at another 50 the weekend. The beans. Yeah, unfortunately, baked beans, I absolutely hate baked beans. Nothing on this earth would make me eat baked beans. So 80 in sunny California. I'm assuming that's Fahrenheit. So what's that? That's you take away 30, 25. That's nice. Yeah, very nice. Paul Richardson, just waiting for the Ride London to be cancelled, as I'm sure the authorities will have more important things to deal with. Yes, unfortunately, I think you're right. Yeah, as I've said, I don't know if you saw the vlog on Tuesday. It's still officially going ahead, but yeah, I think I'm just waiting for it to be cancelled as well. I've been given my place by the National. Well, a friend of mine was offered a place riding for the National Trust, a charity place, and she's already got a place with the Alzheimer's Society, and she passed her place on to me. So I didn't actually pay for it, so I'm not due a refund or anything. But I understand that if it doesn't go ahead, then we might be able to defer it until next year, and that'll be quite a bonus. So yeah, hopefully. So where else? No rain in the Midlands yet. Well, lucky you in the Midlands. Yeah, it's chucking it down here. Out for a ride through Ku-ring-gai Chase to Bobbin Head. That sounds like that might be in Thailand as well. Where's that then, Nigel? Unlike you, I won't go cycling while on lockdown, so use a turbo. Yeah, I don't know where you are, Cochinier. But as far as I'm aware, as long as you maintain your social distancing, you should be fine. They've not banned cycling out on the road yet. Yeah, who knows? Got soaked this morning, can't warm up now. No, I know that feeling very well. Yeah. Until I get a big screen. Yeah, I mean, what's the weather like there in Norway at the moment, Morton? I know it can vary quite a lot, can't it, between the north and the south? So maybe you could say where you are and what the weather's like. Is it safe to cycle through COVID? Who knows? Again, I don't know where you... Oh, yes, you did say where. You're in Australia, aren't you, Blue Moon? So... well, here in the UK, they're saying that we're allowed to go out and do one exercise session a day, and that's the advice that I'm following. Hi there, Charlie. How are you? How's it down in Japan? Or over in Japan? I expect you're almost time to go to bed. Nice and warm here in Boston. Oh, Boston in the UK, Boston, Lincolnshire. Yeah, I would have thought it would have been a bit cooler up there, but yeah. Yeah, a lot of people are doing Joe Wicks, aren't they? He seems to have done very well. Everybody's kind of talking about him. I've not done one of his workouts. They do seem a little bit kind of tough to me, but yeah, my other half's a teacher, and she puts the workout on for the kids when they're at school, and yeah, they seem to enjoy it. Weather's good in West Yorkshire. Can get out every day. Well, here in Hampshire, the weather's not been too bad. It's only today that it started raining, and then the forecast for next week is looking absolutely fantastic, particularly Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. It's looking like it's going to be sunny and beautifully warm again, so I can't wait to go out. Ku-ring-gai Chase north of Sydney. I didn't know that. So like I say, it sounded like Thailand or somewhere like that. Have I invested in Royce hubs yet? Not yet, no. Probably won't either, because that would more than likely involve having the wheels rebuilt. I think I did look into them, and I think they're a local company to me. I think they're based in Hampshire somewhere. I could be horribly wrong. I might have to look them up again. But I think they do specialise in building stronger wheels for heavier riders, if memory serves. So they could be a very good option if I do decide to rebuild that wheel that I had on the Specialized. But I've kind of retired the frame of the Specialized now, so I don't need any new wheels. I'm out, as you've probably seen on the vlogs, I'm riding the Cannondale quite a lot at the moment and really enjoying that. And that just seems to be working beautifully. Looking forward to seeing you in September. Fingers crossed we can still go. Yeah, hopefully. Yes, we're there the end of September, the beginning of October, all being well. There's some issue that might have a job come up that time of year, but I'll have to cross that bridge if and when I come to it. So yeah, stay tuned, Joe. It'd be great to sort of meet up again and hopefully go for another ride down in Mallorca. We'll do the mountains when you're there. Am I intending to organise group Zwift rides in the future? Well, there's still the Tuesday evening one that happens at 6:30 UK time, and I know that's going to be relatively early, or about 10:30 on the Pacific coast of the US, and that's probably going to be about 3 o'clock in the afternoon on the East Coast. But it's not very good for Australia because it's kind of very early in the morning there. So what I am thinking of doing is starting a second Zwift group meetup, and that will take place relatively early in the morning here, so it's a better time for the folks down in Australia to be able to join in. I think it's going to be about, well, if it goes ahead, I think you just need to stay tuned to the channel and find out what's happening. But yeah, hopefully I'll have a second one, and the people in Australia will be able to join in a lot easier. It'll be early in the morning for me though, unfortunately. Hello there, Tim, down in Broken Arrow. I didn't know you were there. I thought you were... Where have you gone? I can't find you on the chat now. Seems to have disappeared. Yeah. Unless they've got you. Right, okay. I'm just back on the YouTube page and scrolling through the comments. Hi again, had to take a call from work. Well, good to have you back. 10 degrees with Morton down in up in Norway. I think you may have said where you are in Norway, but I didn't see the comment. It's going all a little bit quick. 6 in Texas. Psychologically ready to ride my bike. I want to ride my bicycle. Sounds like a song. Yeah, I think we all want to ride, and for some of us it's going to be easier than others. What with the weather and everything. So if you're going out today, everyone, hopefully you'll have a fantastic ride. 22 Ks this morning, that's not bad. I just finished dinner and saw the alert, so I jumped on. So yeah, I think you've been on before, haven't you, Charlie? It's good to have you with us. Blowing a hoolie in Kent. So yeah, I've literally not been out of the door today, so I don't know how strong or how still it is out there. But yeah, it's just not for me today. Turbo trainer. At least I can listen to some music and stuff. So 20 meters apart in Singapore when you cycle. Oh, that in Singapore, blimey. Yeah, I suppose. Yeah, I've seen those graphics where they talk about riders downwind of each other and how more likely they are to inhale some of the virus. Yeah. No snow in the south of Norway, very much in the north. Does it ever stop snowing in the north of Norway? Don't they have it sort of permanently? I think part of Norway, or the north of Norway, is beyond the Arctic Circle, isn't it? So I would imagine that, yeah, it's permanently snowy up there. Any plans for another Jolly Good Velo cycling top? That's a good question, Jamie. You've just reminded me. It was on my list today, and I completely forgot about it. I will be contacting the company here in the UK that I've been talking with about making the jerseys. Up until now, the ordering process for the jerseys has been a little bit long and complicated. But if I can get this company in the UK to manufacture them, it's going to be a lot easier. And anybody who wants a jersey will be able to go over to the company's website and order direct from them, and it will get shipped out within 2 weeks rather than the 6 months that it's been taking so far. So I need to send them one of my jerseys so that they can get the colours right, they can get the design right and everything. So yes, that's a phone call or an email that I need to make to them today, and send the jersey off so that they can get all of those measurements, and then hopefully within the next couple of months that service will be up and running, so you can order Jolly Good Velo jerseys as and when you like. Plus I've also got plans for some sort of basic bib shorts, and maybe even some other little bits and bobs, who knows. So anyone else missing their cafe stops? I love a good cafe stop, but I have to admit I've not really been missing it, because whenever I get home, I can make myself a nice cup of tea here and have a little treat as well. I've got more than a fair share of Stroop waffles stashed away, so I can enjoy one of those and a cup of tea when I get back. Stephanie Nom in Aix-en-Provence. Well, it's always sunny in Provence, isn't it? Lovely part of the world. Yeah, I had the choice of going to university in either Aix-en-Provence or in Toulouse, and I went to university in Toulouse. A friend of mine did his degree in Aix-en-Provence and absolutely loved it. Yeah. Okay then, Mashid, we'll hopefully see you again another time. Richard in New Zealand, still nice weather, getting on the gravel tracks each morning. So yeah, you're just coming into your autumn there, aren't you, in New Zealand? Yes. Right. It's all sort of running away with me now. Just scrolling back through the comments. I wonder why it jumps like that so much. Any Cannondale, any bottom bracket issues yet? None at all. The bike seems to be functioning absolutely perfectly. I mean, okay, fair enough. I'm not going out and doing hundreds and hundreds of kilometres a week on it, but so far, the only issue that I've had with it were the gears. And that's going to happen with any bike. I just tightened the cable up so that they were all re-indexed, and it's all working perfectly fine. Hello there, Australia, Mavericks. Royce in New Milton. Oh right, okay, yeah, they are fairly local. They're probably about an hour and a half's drive from me down in New Milton, other side of Southampton. How old was I when I started proper cycling? That's a bit hard to say because well, it depends what you mean by proper cycling. I've always been cycling, um, and I suppose really I started when I was at school. I had a very good chum, Carl, whose older brother was into the Tour de France and all that lot. And as you can imagine, 13, 14-year-olds, cycling was about the only method of transport that we had. So we used to ride our bikes everywhere, my chum Carl and I. And I sort of used to ride. Well, it was my only way of getting to school as well. So I'd ride my bike to school, and I was reasonably fast in those days, being relatively fit and a lot slimmer. And then we did some sort of cycling type stuff at school, and the teacher kind of realised I was reasonably quick and sort of pushed me from there really. So yeah, at least. How long ago was that? That would have been the early 80s, so 40 years or so. Blimey, 40 years. Good heavens. You could do an Everest challenge on Portsdown Hill. I could, but I think Portsdown Hill is only about it's only about 150 meters. It's not desperately high, and Everest is 8,800 meters or something like that. So you'd have to ride up Portsdown Hill about 80 times. And yeah, that would just take weeks, I think. 80 times up and down Portsdown Hill. Blimey. John Paulson, that's unfortunate. Pouring down in New Zealand. Yeah, you must be down south then, because I think somebody's saying that it's quite sunny there at the moment. I went to Bluff. Was it Bluff? In the very south tip of New Zealand a few years ago. And okay, it was in August, so it was pretty cold. Robert Nicol, been overall quite nice here in New Jersey, transitioning into spring. Been out 4 or 5 rides a week. Well, that's not a bad total. 1,200 miles so far. What's that in kilometres? That's about 2,000 kilometres. Recent miles have been solo. Yeah, I can imagine with all that's going on and everything. Unfortunately. Right, Morton, you're in Oslo, so that's down south, isn't it? Southeast, I think. Low 30s in Perth. Blimey, that sounds fantastic. I'm assuming that's Celsius. Windy in Victoria. So Blue Moon, have I seen Nathan Woodruff's YouTube video debunking leonardmlee? Your thoughts? I have seen it, and Nathan's actually a very good friend of the channel. He's always posting really sort of nice comments on the films, and he also follows me on Strava, and whenever I get a PR on Strava, he's always there to kind of congratulate me. So I have seen it. I thought it was very funny. It's not meant to be nasty or horrible. It's just a genuine sort of nice kind of Mickey take of me really. Nathan and I have been talking about short rides and flat rides and all that kind of stuff, and yeah, I was very sort of glad to watch it. It was quite a funny little film. Do I have any advice recycling every day of the week versus having rest days? Well, I think I've always said that the ride that you do is only as good as your recovery from it, and yeah, so I think it's very important to build in rest days. If you just push yourself day after day after day after day, you will get tired and you'll end up just causing yourself injury or strains, or even worse, you'll be doing kind of overtraining, and that's not a good situation to be in. You need to kind of just take a moment and sort of maybe a day out of 4 or 5 and have a rest day and just recover. And in fact, when I was doing the 30-day challenge last year, I really felt it. Even though I was only cycling maybe 25, 30 kilometres a day, I got to about 15 days in and I felt really tired. So I was deliberately choosing flatter routes and easier routes and shorter routes just to try and get some sort of recovery. Hello there from Lebanon. I don't think I've ever had anybody from Lebanon comment on the films or yeah, fantastic. Oh, it's all pushed it up again. Oh, there we go. With all the COVID business, bike shops closed, need wheel trued up, too many flats, rain. Yeah, I think here in the UK, many or some bike shops certainly are still open because they're considered essential services. You can true a wheel yourself. I must admit, it's not something that I'm able to do. Firstly, I don't have the skills, and secondly, I don't have the tool. But I think if you know what you're doing, and you have that little spoke tightening thing, it's a relatively straightforward and easy job to do. Obviously look on YouTube. I bet there's somebody somewhere who's posted a video about how to do that. I haven't, because I don't know. More to the Norwegian. Summer can be nice and warm, but short. Yeah, I think a lot of people think that, up north it's just permanently cold, even though I've just said that maybe up beyond the Arctic Circle. I used to live in Denmark many years ago, and that was about halfway up. It was on the Limfjord, and I remember in the summers it got to like 32 degrees. I know Denmark's a little bit further south from Norway, but yeah, it surprised me how hot it got, and swimming in the Limfjord itself, I was surprised at how warm the water was. Cycle caps, socks, yes, they're all potential things we can have. I think the chap I was talking to at the clothing company was definitely talking about caps. I think he mentioned something about those kind of buff things, what you put over your head, like helmet liners and things like that. Jolly good velo wines. Now there's a thing. Just over the back from where I live is the Wickham Vineyard. I think they make white wine and some sort of fizzy white wine as well. So yeah, that would be good. And there's even a vineyard that could do it. That would be amazing, wouldn't it? Hello, Ryan in New Jersey. Hello, Malaysia, Holland. Oh, yeah, it's all the comments here are trying to navigate through the comments. John Dudley, what's the hardest climb in the UK you've done? I think that has to be one of the local ones here. We've got a climb called Harvesting Hill. It's not desperately long. It's probably 2 kilometres, but it's about 20%. And it starts off pretty hard, and then it just gets harder and harder and harder, and by the time you've got to the top you're absolutely on the rivet. There is another climb which to this date I've never been able to do, and if you look on a map and find the village of Harting, it's a climb out of Harting, so the road goes from the village of Harting to Compton. And just as you leave Harting, there's a massive climb. And if you watch some of the vlogs that I do, I'll cycle up from Compton up the easier bit, and I'll stop at the very top there. But if I continue on, I would go and make the descent down into Harting, and even descending that's pretty scary. And the climb out is it's just monster. They did ride up it in the Tour de France, and I saw it on TV the day they did it, and they just made it look easy. It made me feel really stupid not being able to ride up it. But like I say, to this day, I've never been able to ride up that road from Harting up to the top there. Jamie Stratton, I hear you have a fantastic Facebook page. Well, we do, yes, indeed. Yeah, Jamie, if you don't know, Jamie runs the Jolly Good Velo Facebook page. And that's a great place to go if you want to kind of interact with everybody, post pictures of your bikes, ask for advice, show photos from your ride, share your Strava maps and things like that. So if you, I might be able to show you the address if I can find that. No, I don't think I've got it on here anymore, unfortunately. But if you'd like to join the Facebook group, just go to any of the films on the YouTube channel, have a look in the description, and there's a link in every single one of them there. So yeah, that'd be great if you'd like to come and join. Howdy, you got my first flat yesterday. Any tips on repairing? Blimey, first flat? That's unusual. Well, it depends how long you've been cycling, I suppose. Yeah, flat tyres aren't the end of the world, really. Yeah, just, I mean, I've got a film showing you how to replace an inner tube. I've got a film showing you how to repair a flat. I would say replacing the inner tube is much easier. You just take the tyre off, have a quick skim round to make sure that there's nothing left in the tyre that's going to puncture the new tube. Put the tube in, put it all back together again, pump it up, and you're off to the races. So yeah, have a look at the film. It's fairly easy. Sunny Norfolk. It's like Holland. It's not a part of the world I know very well, sunny Norfolk. I've been filming in Norwich, and that's about it. I spent one evening there. We had a very nice pizza in a very nice little pub, and that's my knowledge of Norwich. Hey, up from Yorkshire. Love Yorkshire. Whereabouts in Yorkshire are you? Have I ever done any bike touring? No, unfortunately I haven't. Again, it's something I'd like to do. I don't think the bikes that I have at the moment are quite right for it, but I just love the idea of having everything I need on my bike, you know, my tent, all my cooking utensils and stuff like that, riding somewhere, you know, finding a nice little quiet spot, putting the tent up and then spending the night and then doing it all over again. I just love the idea of that. Come down for a ride on Dartmoor when lockdown's over. Yeah, I'd like to do that. I've been down to, where did I go? Oh God, Lynmouth and Linton. And I have to say, if that's an indication of what sort of hills are down there, blimey, they just look absolutely monster. And then I went to Porlock and just the hill down into Porlock. My God, I'm surprised anybody could ever ride out of Porlock. It must be one of the hardest hills in the UK, I would have thought. Jamie, any more challenges planned? Yeah, they're always sort of there in the back of my mind. I might do another 30 days of cycling. I might try and see if I can do the equivalent of riding up Everest in a month, so that's 8,800 metres, I think. Yeah, so it's all kind of there. Plus, you know, if anyone's got any ideas for challenges, I would love to hear them. So, how many kilometres or miles is your longest distance in one day? I've cycled 100 miles, so that's 160 kilometres. I've done that a couple of times now. It was hard. I have to admit, it was very hard. But yeah, I may have to do that again. Obviously, if the Prudential London 100 goes ahead, I'm going to have to do that in August. So yeah, that's the longest one I've done so far. Oh, scrolling you down again. My videos are so calming to watch. Well, I'm glad you do, Avinash. Yeah. Afternoon in Essex there. Have you furloughed the borrowers? I'm not sure I understand that. The borrowers are those little things that live in, they're like little creatures, aren't they? Or have I completely missed the point there? Chokan, yo from a Lancashire lad in Japan. Makes you wish you used Facebook. Well, you could always join Facebook. Hello, Mitch again. Any advice on cycling holidays for single cyclists? Well, it's not difficult to arrange. Obviously, it's much easier if you do have a few chums to ride with. But I think there are companies that kind of specialise in that. I mean, Love Velo instantly spring to mind. They were very kind enough to kind of sponsor a little bit of the last Mallorca trip. They gave us some jerseys and airport transfers and bike hire and things like that. And I think if you have a look at their website, they do group trips. There's also the Pyrenees.cc, who very kindly invited me down to stay with them last December. They've even, well, before this coronavirus thing happened, we were planning on doing like a Jolly Good Velo meet-up holiday thing for the beginning of May. So, you know, you'd paid one price and gone down and stayed at the Jeep with all of us, and we would have all gone on rides together. And that was actually aimed at people coming down by themselves. Hopefully we'll be doing that again at some point, putting those on, planning those. But obviously with the world the way it is at the moment, we don't know when that's going to happen. James, social cycling, afternoon Leonard from North Hampshire. Used to live in Liphook and rode around Farnham area. Well, I used to live in Liphook as well, down the Hazelmere Road. And yes, I used to ride to Farnham. And in fact, when I started cycling to school, that was from Liphook. I used to go to school in Borden. So that was only about, what, 3.5 miles each way. So where are you now then, if you're in North Hampshire? I'm guessing kind of Alton, Borden, that kind of area. Would be cool to see me doing riding collabs. Yeah, that would be fantastic. I'm in another Facebook group, which is the YouTube Cycling Creators. There's some people on there that we're vaguely talking about having a meet-up. I don't know what form that's going to take, and might be good to do a ride with some of them, or a collab with some of them. Good morning from PA, USA. I'm guessing that's Pennsylvania. Hello, Adelaide. Porlock is in Simon Warren's 100th hardest climbs in the UK. But yes, I think, well, I've not seen it, so I don't know if it's in there or not. But I would imagine, from what I saw of it, it certainly warrants a place in the book, if not being at #1 in the book. I think that the longest road climb here in the UK is out of, it's a place in Yorkshire. Oh God, what's the name of it? Something Castle now. And I think it's 8 kilometres up this hill. And I think it's only about 5% average. I wouldn't mind doing that one of these days. Hello there, Martin. Yes, all is well here, thank you. Yeah, like all of us, I'm just trying to, do what I can to get through this lockdown stuff. So hence all of these live streams. Yeah. Oh, the borrowers which film me from the verges. Oh, those. I see where you're getting. Right. Yes, that's my cameras. I have to obviously set that up and ride away, and then come back and pass it. So yeah. I've got a new toy that I'm using. I'm using the DJI Osmo Pocket camera, and I've got a little tripod for that I can stick in the back of my jersey pocket. And the good thing about the Osmo is that you can control it over Wi-Fi, and my Hammerhead Karoo can run the app that controls it, so that makes life a little bit easier for filming on the bike. The weather looks a wee bit inclement down in Hampshire, yes. Well, it's good to hear that it's nice and sunny up there in Cumbria. Porlock is a tough hill. Caused your rim to explode, braking coming down it. Yeah, that doesn't surprise me one little bit. A friend of mine tried riding up it, and as he was sort of on the lower bit at the bottom, he passed a chap in his garden, and the chap said to him, "Oh, good luck, boy," or whatever he said, indicating that it was going to be a tough climb. And by the time this friend of mine was not even halfway up, he said that he was literally trying to pull on any bush and stuff that he could do, to get hold of, to walk up the hill. So yeah, that must have been hard to pull a bike up there as well. Blimey. Oh, I don't know why it's sort of back on the bike training this afternoon for your virtual trip from France to Somerset. That's another. Well, good luck with that, Martin. How many kilometres are you planning on doing today? Any advice on quitting smoking? The best advice, I think, would be not to start in the first place. I've never smoked in my life, so unfortunately it's something I just do not have any experience with. My dad was a heavy smoker, and that just put me off for life. Hello there, Saviero in Italy. Hope you're all doing okay today. You regularly comment on the videos and the films and things, and yeah, it sounds pretty tough down there in Italy. Hope you're doing okay. Hello, Austria. Yes, unfortunately, GoPro Mike, it is raining here, and it's snowing. Where are you then? Snowing. Seems like we have a bit of a discussion about quitting smoking on. Love the live streams. Also like the meetup on Zwift. We'll try to join on Tuesday again. Now, if you're invited, yep, that should be relatively straightforward. Unfortunately, I think we've reached the maximum 50 on the Tuesday ones now. So if you're not already invited, unfortunately, I can't invite you unless somebody volunteers to drop out, and then you'll need to follow me, and then I can send you an invite. Okay then, Jamie. Bon appetit. Enjoy your meal. Shared on Facebook. All right, we're talking about smoking still. Simon Cook. What mount do you use for your GoPro on the handlebars? Well, it's a little aluminium mount that can be rotated 360 degrees. I think they're about 12, 13 pounds or so on Amazon. Now you mount that to your stem, and you can rotate the camera 360 degrees. But I also put another little extension arm on it, so that when it's at 90 degrees to the handlebars, I can then level it all up. But it just gives me so much more flexibility to position the camera to get the shots that I want. I have made a film about how to film, or how I film my rides, so you can see it a lot clearer on that film. So just go and have a look at that, and that will show you the mount that I use. So Martin's doing between 50 and 75 5 days a week. That's not a bad total, actually. And pretty tough on a turbo trainer as well, I would have thought. 50 so it's 50 miles or well, even 50 kilometres on a turbo trainer is going to be pretty tough. Hello there, Tasmania. You're heading into winter. Yeah, I imagine that's pretty cold down there. All right, Michigan, USA is snowy. Wow. So Steve Domingos, my Zwift name is Leonard Lee, and in brackets JGV. Like I say, I mean you're very welcome to follow me on Zwift, and if a space becomes available, I'm more than happy to send you an invite. Or if you want to join, if I do start a second ride for the folks down in Australia, you're very welcome to join that, but I suspect it might be very, very early in the morning for you. Or probably even a complete different day. I think there's, I remember calling the US from Australia, and it was like a Tuesday morning for me, and it was still Monday evening in the US. All right, so you're already invited. Okay, cool. Rick C. I have a Cannondale Synapse from 2015. I have a 22 one-way to work. Is this a good bike? Well, I've got no problems with my Cannondale. 22 miles is, yeah, it's a nice ride. I think that would be a very good bike to do that ride on. I think that the Synapse is kind of designed to be more for comfort rather than speed, and that's certainly my experience on it. It's certainly a lot slower than the Trek that I ride, but it's a really, really nice bike. So I think you should, have no problems doing a 22 mile commute each way. So Steve's in Germany. Good. I live in Hartley, Westport, a little outside Hook. I don't know Hartley, Westport. I know places like Hartley, Wintney, and places like that near Odium, and that's not far from Hook, so it's probably there. But yes, you've got me, Mill Chase. I used to go to Mill Chase, and I was there from 1978 to 1983. First road bike in March. That's tough, isn't it? When you buy your first road bike and then you're immediately quarantined, so you can't ride it. And if you're anything like me, I would be very, very reluctant to put a brand new bike on a turbo trainer. Yeah. KMs. The Tour de France passes your house if you fancy a visit. Well, that's very, very nice of you, Martin. No, I'd love to come and stay in France. The riding in France is absolutely fantastic. They've postponed the tour this year, haven't they? They're not riding it in July anymore, but I think they're going to do it in late August. But yeah, no, that'd be fantastic. Yeah, give me a shout a bit nearer the time, and I'm sure we can do something. Have I tried Ruby? No, the short answer there. I've not tried it. Maybe I should look into it. Morton the Norwegian, have you ever had a nasty crash? I've had a couple of crashes, and only one of them I would say was nasty. And that was back in 2014. I was working out in the US, and I bought myself a very cheap bike from Walmart. I think I was just talking about this on the comments to today's film with somebody. I fell off, basically, literally the first ride I did. I crossed over a railway line, and there was a sign before it saying "Cyclists dismount," and I completely ignored it, thinking, no, I can ride over that. And lo and behold, I fell off, and I got some road rash on my left leg. And being in the US, I was very reluctant to get it treated because of the cost and everything. And long story short, it developed into cellulitis, and it was very, very painful. And it was just my luck that one of the days that we were working with a nurse, and she looked at my leg, and she said, "You need to go to hospital with that." So I did that and ended up on a drip with antibiotics. And yeah, it was very, very painful. So yeah, that was probably the nastiest crash I've had. But I've had bits where I've been knocked off bikes by motorists and stuff, and Yeah, my advice is if you're in the UK, join British Cycling, because if you have anything like that, they will sort of sort you out with a lawyer and all that sort of stuff. And similarly, probably about 2 years ago, I ran into the back of a car. It wasn't anything major. I literally punched the lights of a car and broke the back light. And again, British Cycling covered their insurance covered the repairs to the car. So yes, join British Cycling. And then also, if you hear people saying, oh, bloody cyclists shouldn't be on the road, they don't pay road tax and they don't have insurance. Well, we all know that nobody pays road tax in the UK, and if you're with British Cycling, you have insurance, and you can sort of say that to them. Still trying to get on the turbo training way of life. Yeah, you've just started turboing, haven't you, Charlie? Did your first 50 on it the other day. Blimey, that's tough. No, it's not as much fun as riding on the road, is it? Plus, it's a lot harder because you're just constantly, pedaling. There's no respite or anything. When you're right out on the road, even the little kind of descents that are 50 metres or 25 metres or something give you an opportunity to get your breath back. But on the turbo trainer, you don't have any of that. Oh, where am I? Steve Domingo. I'll write my Zwift name and I'll post it down here. There we go. That's hopefully you can see that. It's Leonard Lee, and in brackets JGB. Andy Taylor, good stream. Thank you. Glad you're enjoying it. Martin uses the Ruvi app. Great app. You can load your own route and then cycle on your trainer. It sounds a little bit like KinoMap. I think you can. No, well, I know you can upload your own route to KinoMap, but I really should check out Ruvi. Looks like a. From what I've seen of it, it looks quite interesting. So Charlie, do you need a smart trainer for Ruvi? That's a very good question. Because if you do need a smart trainer, then unfortunately I don't have one. Blue Moon, I have recently started cycling. A friend of me invited to ride Sydney. Had a gradient of 10% for 1 kilometre. I was totally wrecked after the climb. Does it get easier? Well, it does, but it depends on how fast you try and ride up it. What's most likely to happen is that it will get easier, but then you'll try and ride it a bit faster, and then it won't be as easy. It'll be as hard again, but your times will go down, and you'll feel fantastic once your times start coming down. Oh. There's also a good charity to join, and we'll also cover your. I haven't finished. Yep, Mark, the rain has certainly arrived here. I thought it was going to let up, but it hasn't. I hope you can hear me okay over the top of the rain. I thought it was going to be a bit quiet in this, but it sounds pretty loud in here, banging on the conservatory roof. So Ian Miller is looking to investing in first cycling shoes, but do you really think clipless are worth it? I personally do. I've been riding with proper cycling shoes now for, 30 years or so, 20 years or so, long time. And basically I wouldn't want to ride without them. I know every time I talk about shoes and clips and pedals and all this lot and lifting up, somebody somewhere will comment and say, there's no benefit, all the tests have shown that it doesn't improve your pedaling. And my answer to that is, well, it does for me, and every single professional cyclist you see on the Tour de France or the Giro d'Italia or any of the big races, every single cyclist will be wearing shoes that clip into the pedals. And they won't do that for fun. They do that for a very good reason. You really didn't enjoy being out of breath. It was a little frightened. Well, I suppose, yeah, if you're not used to kind of getting that out of breath, I suppose it can. But then, maybe just ride up a bit slower next time and try and keep within your kind of breathing. And then I think the more you do it, I think you'll find the faster you'll get. How long do you commute before you could commute every day? I'm not sure. I mean, it depends on how long your commute is in the first place. Yeah, I suppose, yeah, if it's a fairly short commute, yeah, you could jump into it straight away, I would have thought. Without the brackets. Do you have a different bike for the Turbo Trainer and for outdoors? I do. On my Turbo Trainer, I use my old Principia, which I bought, goodness gracious, a bit of a Frankenstein bike. I think I bought the original one back in 2000. And I think I might have even exchanged it. Anyway, it's an old bike that probably would not be good out on the road these days, but it's perfectly fine for the Turbo Trainer. How are you finding the Hammerhead Karoo? I got rid of my Garmin 1030, so far no regrets. I really like the Karoo. It's nice and big. I just enjoy using it. The navigation's fantastic. I think if you saw the vlogs a couple of weeks ago, you'll know that I did have an issue with it running out of memory, and I had to do a hard reset. But so far, even though it's only been a couple of weeks now, it's working fine. And like I said earlier, I just love the fact that I can sideload some other apps on it. So I'm running the DJI Mimo app, and then that will control the DJI Osmo Pocket that I use for filming the passing shots when I'm out cycling. Right, Steve Domingos, thanks. Yes, I think I've seen you just flashed up on my phone, so I'll send you an invite if I can make a space for you. Yes, okay. It sounds like you need a power sensor for Ruby. Oh, right, okay. Don't need a smart trainer for Ruby. Okay. Kermit Frog, I agree about pedal pulling, etc. too. Yeah, I mean, I know some people don't want to use use proper cycling shoes because they just don't like the feeling of being clipped in, and I don't think they're any slower. I used to ride with a couple of people that never used proper cycling shoes, and one of them in particular I couldn't keep up with. So yeah, he seemed to cycle fine, but I just personally, because I've been riding with them for so long, wouldn't want to ride without. And I can certainly feel that when I'm climbing, I do pull up. And I personally would not want to try a long climb without being clipped in. Rice cooker, beautiful day. Do you mean where you are, or are you being ironic about where I am? In which case, yes, I agree with you. Saviero, 10%. Well, with the right gears, not too hard. We have hills over here over 15%. That's fun. Yes, I can imagine they are. Tactile Z. What type of camera do you use? For the vlogs, for the pieces to camera that I do, I'm using a Sony A6400, which is a DSLR mirrorless camera. So it's got a nice shallow depth of field, and I'll also use that if I'm out and about filming some cutaways and things like that. Only if I'm not cycling. I've recently just bought a strap that will sort of help me ride with that camera, but I'm still a little bit nervous about taking that out and about with me. And then when I'm on the bike, I use a GoPro Hero 6, which has amazing image stabilization, which accounts for the smoothness of the shots. I also use the DJI Osmo Pocket, which I've just been talking about, and I also use another little GoPro Hero Session 4, but that's basically for the microphone on it. It's a really nice, clear sound on that camera. And being a GoPro, it's obviously very small and just fits into my jersey pocket. And I'll use that for when I do the pieces to camera on the bike. Hello there, Siegfried. Yes, I know where you are. Hopefully it's not too cold for you there. Hopefully it's nice and dry. Where am I? Oops, getting lost here in the comments. So what are your must-haves if you were buying a new bike today? I think, well, I've always maintained that the most important thing about buying a bike is that it fits you and that you feel comfortable riding it. Apart from that, I think, I don't know, yeah, the next thing I would probably look at would be the gear ratio. Being a heavier rider, I'd want something with a compact chain set and a nice, easy kind of ratio at the back as well. Pure Gear, hello mate. Hello there, I believe you're Martin, aren't you? I've been meaning to email you. I'm going to go for a ride with the jersey that you sent me very kindly as soon as it stops raining. So hopefully that'll be in the next couple of days. So keep an eye out for that. Oops. Of course you need pedal and shoes. Yeah, but I mean, you don't necessarily need cycling shoes. And some people obviously like to ride just in normal shoes on flat pedals. Afternoon Cycling Shaw from FCC. That's Mark Frost, isn't it? Yeah, he's got a very good channel. He's got a very nice little community there with his channel. He does lots of rides. I've been chatting to Mark over email on and off. I haven't done it for a while, but I keep meaning to go and do a ride with him, so I should do that at some point. Well, hope your Mallorca trip goes ahead, something I'd like to do in the future too. Yeah, fingers crossed. It's so far ahead into the future at the moment, but yeah, anything could happen. I'm guessing that this lockdown can't last for another 6 months, but having said that, it wouldn't really surprise me one little bit. And yes, I would thoroughly recommend a trip to Mallorca. It's just cycling heaven out there. The mountains are amazing, the weather's fantastic. It's just brilliant. So, Siegfried's done some upgrades, truing your wheels. Oh, we've had somebody saying that they would like to true their wheels, but they don't know how. Waxing your chain, what to do next? I expect you've cleaned it, adjusted all of the gears, made sure the brakes are all working properly, all that kind of thing. Headset's not loose, all the basic stuff. Pump your tyres up. Yeah, there you go. Kicked in and pulling up hills helps us bigger chaps to rest our quads. Which one are your quads? Are they the big ones on your thighs? In fact, I think that's pulling up actually helps me to engage those muscles and make it easier. I don't know. Sorry for coming in late. Did you get a bike fit? What were some major changes from your previous setup? Any shoe, pedal, cleat changes? I did have a bike fit, and I had one probably this time last year with my friend Steve at his shop. It's called Bike Fixers. And before, well, I had the bike fit done on the calendar because before I was really struggling to get the thing to fit me properly, and I can't remember off the top of my head the adjustments that Steve made, but one of the big ones was actually to the cleat position on the shoe. Basically, I was I had the cleat a little bit too far forward, and as I've discovered in the last few days or so, the further forward the cleat is on the shoe, no, the further back the cleat is on the shoe, the further forward you want to sit on the bike, and you need to kind of have the cleat above the ball of your foot for the kind of optimum position. And I think that was probably the biggest one. And then the second biggest change that I made to the bike was lowering the handlebars. Basically, I put the Cannondale side by side with my Trek, which I knew that the position on that was absolutely fantastic. And I saw that the handlebars were slightly high, so I lowered them a bit, and lo and behold, it was like an epiphany. The whole thing just seemed to work, and it just felt so much nicer. Just join British Cycling on your advice. Fantastic, Jonathan. You won't regret that. I know there are different levels of membership. I think I'm the silver membership. I think you only need the gold one if you intend on doing some proper road racing. But yeah, the benefits of joining British Cycling are just fantastic. You get a load of news and information every month, and there's some discounts that you can get with, I think with Halfords. I could be wrong, but I think you get a discount at Halfords. And plus there is all of the legal support as well. So if you have an accident, they will be your legal advice and act as your solicitor to get any compensation and stuff like that. And plus, if you damage anybody or anybody's car or property or anything like that, they will look after you. Oh, it's getting Perfuro, yes, that's right. Okay. I must admit, Martin, I did try the shorts on, and because they weren't bib shorts, they just would not stay up. I need to lose 20 kilos to be able to wear those shorts, unfortunately. The most helpful video was when you started cycling, was the video on Clothes Guide. Couldn't really find a lot of advice elsewhere. Now, I've literally just bought some shorts from Planet X. I think it's from their 365 range, and I've actually bought these with my own money, and they were on offer. I had one of the Planet X emails. They were like 17 quid, so I bought a pair, and they're brilliant. I bought the 3XL size, and they fit me. They're even a little bit loose on me, so if they're going to be loose on me, they're going to fit anybody. They're nice and comfortable, and they're quite high, so they come up quite high on my stomach to hold it all in. And yes, I can thoroughly recommend these Planet X shorts. Unfortunately, they've gone up in price because, like I say, I bought them on offer, and I really regretted not buying more than one pair. So I've been and bought another pair, but unfortunately, I had to pay the full price for those. Hello there, Nick. Better late than never. Yeah, cycling, Sean. Yep, it is, mate. Thanks so much. You've got me back into cycling after 20 years. Well, no, glad that you're back on the bike. You know, good luck with that. I'm sure you'll have loads of fun and improve your fitness and just have a fantastic time. So the best of luck with that. Look, Ruvy's on a 14-day free trial. Yeah, let us know how that goes, Charlie. I'd be interested to hear. Just had a cycling holiday cancelled. Yeah, I can imagine that you're very disappointed. Yeah, Lanzarotte's a nice place to ride. It's a volcanic island, isn't it? I think, is that Mount Tie-Dye up there? Yeah, that and the weather would have been amazing down there. Hopefully, you got a refund and you'll be able to reschedule it. Oh. I don't know why this thing does weird stuff with all of the comments. So the Siegfried's just upgraded to Ultegra R8000s. your bike is so shiny now that nothing else is needed. Maybe a bit of sun. Well, we had the sun yesterday. Hopefully we'll have the sun tomorrow. Yeah, let's all go out when the sun shines. So Morton's asking me, would you ever consider exercising an entire season without a heart rate monitor, cadence meter? No, I probably wouldn't. I actually like the numbers. Yeah, I can be a little bit of a geek as far as that's concerned. I just like the tech. Yeah, I mean, I might do the odd ride without anything like that, but certainly not an entire season. Jet 2 cancelled your... yeah, I think all these airlines and holiday companies are suffering at the moment, unfortunately. More to the Norwegian, there's no gadget, presumably, to true your wheels. Oh, no gadget needed to exercise, simply move your... Okay. Bib shorts in the next run. I'm looking forward to that, Martin. Yes, very much so. So Morton knows Siegfried. What a small world. Promises me... doesn't mean cheeky, but I do Sterling. Yes, Richard, unfortunately that is a drop of the old Belgian sunshine, I believe they call it. It's Hampshire sunshine now. Wax or oil for chains? Well, I only use oil at the moment. I've not tried the wax. I've just seen that that video that seems to be doing the rounds on social media, where it's like a bobbin of wax, and you just roll it on your chain. That does look quite interesting. 70 minutes. Is it 70 minutes already? Good heavens. I'm going to have my other half moaning at me in a minute, because she probably wants to have something to eat. Planet X bombarded me with discounts every day, just a question of... Yeah, it's the same with me, really. I think I must get at least one email from Planet X. But to be fair, some of the discounts that they offer are pretty good. When they're doing their real sort of cheapo stuff. I mean, for instance, I've just treated myself, when I ordered my shorts, I treated myself to a new crash hat as well. So that was only 10 quid. Looking forward to trying that out. It's blue because it's going to go very nicely with the Jolly Good Velo jersey. The UK police say that exercise means movement. I suppose it does. Burning calories and all that. Ah, tie-dyes on Tenerife. Thank you, Morton. Charlie cycled for years without any of that stuff. The stuff is nice for getting statistics and honing your training. Go to GCN, they have a video about Ruby, and they have a link for, yeah, give it a try. I might do that myself as well. Although, you know, I am paying, I think it's £12, £13 a month for Zwift, and I've also been given, Philippe at Kinemap was very kind to give me a year's subscription to Kinemap, so I don't think really I've got any need for a third platform, but I'm certainly going to have a look at it. Sunny here in Norfolk. Now, lucky you, Kermit. Are you friends with Aphid by any chance? I seem to think that you know Aphid Hancock, who's a regular viewer of the channel and subscriber. Scott Parker, I only ever see you when I'm in the car, usually hailing Ireland, never when I'm riding. Oh, right. Yeah, it's weird to think that, you know, people, a few people have said that to me now. They see me in the car when I'm cycling. I've had one or two people stop and say hello when I've been out cycling, but it's weird to think that, you know, there are people who see me and know me from the channel. Scott Parker, cheers for the advice, everyone. Well, thank you for tuning in. Sure we cross road paths one day. Yeah, hopefully, yeah, if you see me about, if you're local, yeah, be sure to say hello. So Morton's been up tie-dye 2 times in 1 week. I seem to remember somebody saying that it's quite a tough little climb, tie-dye. So that's pretty good going. For someone starting out again after many years, how essential is a computer? Yeah, it's probably not essential. I think having a cycling computer just makes it, it's that old thing, if you can measure something, you can improve it. So I think a cycling computer will help you measure what you're doing, and if you can put a definitive number on it, then you can aim to improve it. But it's not necessary. I think the necessary thing is just to get out and ride. Scott Parker, what about nutrition? What gels, etc. do you recommend? I must admit, I'm not the best person to ask about nutrition. I've tried the gels, and I must admit I don't really like them. I'm more of a fan of the energy drinks, and I've just been sent some from a company called Elevar, which has been designed for older cyclists. I'm trying that out at the moment. I've got like a strawberry flavoured energy drink to take with me, and then I've got a similar flavoured, strawberry flavoured recovery drink for when I get back. I haven't been doing long enough rides really to warrant them at the moment, so once the weather improves a bit more and I feel a bit fitter, then I'll go out and do some longer rides and try this this Elevar product out. Well, so do I change out my rear tyre for the trainer? No, I don't. I'm riding on a regular tyre, and I have to admit that it does slip from time to time. I know you can get those Turbo Trainer specific tyres, can't you? They're normally bright blue. Yeah, is it worth it? I don't know. I'm sure there are things I can do to kind of make the regular tyre that I've got on there already work a bit better. Mike Allen, a bit late here today. Cheers for the videos and advice. Well, thank you for watching. CRC bombarded me. Who's the CRC? Have I missed something? It's easy to true your wheels in the forks. Turn bike upside down and measure deflection against, say, a pencil fixed to a fork. Yeah, that's what I would suggest. Looking on YouTube, there's got to be somebody there. But as far as I'm aware, you need a little spoke key to be able to actually tighten the spokes up. I think one of the problems from somebody was telling me that if you don't know 100% what you're doing, it's quite easy just to sort of keep chasing the buckle around the wheel. You tighten up one spoke, correct it there, and then the tension just moves. But yeah, it's something I've never had to do. So Mujisi, that's Ant, isn't it? Sorry you're late. It's good to have you here. Hopefully all's well with you in Wales there. So Kermit, you don't know Aphid, okay. Scott Parker's Chichester. Oh right, I think your avatar's a local signpost. Do I recognise that signpost? Is that one on top of Butser Hill or something? No. Just rambling now. Are you still planning on doing the Isle of Wight this year at some point? Yes, the short answer to that. Obviously, the Isle of Wight Randonnée has been cancelled, but you know it's just down the road, so I can probably wake up one sunny morning and think, you know what, I'll ride the Isle of Wight today, and zoom down there, turn up at the ferry port, buy myself a foot passenger ticket, and just ride the the island, because the randonnée follows the Isle of Wight cycle route, and they're all clearly signposted. They're permanent signs there. It's not like something that they put up only for the event. So yes, I'll probably go over there, and indeed I do go over there probably 2-3 times a year with my cycling chums, and we do a ride around the island or some parts of the island. It's a great place to ride. The road surface is just incredible on the Isle of Wight. They must spend a fortune on their roads because they are just butter smooth tarmac. I think there must be about 3 potholes on the entire Isle of Wight. Recommended changing your tire. Bad Rad. Hi Leonard, greetings from NC in the US. Excited to see you live. I'm guessing NC, is that North Carolina? Charlie's is bright red. I'm assuming you're on about your turbo training tyre. If it's anything else, you might need to see a doctor. Can you do a Garmin tutorial, Bad Rad? Well, yes, I'm sure I can, but what do you mean by a Garmin tutorial? How to use the cycling computer? I've only got the 510, and that's obviously a bit long in the tooth these days. Chain reaction cycles. All right, are they part of Wiggle now? Has Wiggle bought them? I don't know. Worse than wearing 4K this summer or this winter. Oh, 4,000 kilometres this winter. Needed to change it. 4,000 kilometres on a turbo. That's just bonkers. Blimey. Greetings from Japan. Nodrog. Always great content. I was in Portsmouth, Southsea in February. That's my best friend lives in Petersfield. And we went to the coast on a desperately windy day. Nice part of the world. Yeah, I think we're very lucky being where we are. We're just 20 kilometres from the coast, so I fancy a coastal ride like I did on the vlog where I wanted to ride down to Hayling. That's only like 45 minutes of cycling, and then literally I've got the South Downs behind me, so I can be climbing those in about 10 minutes. So yeah, it's very, very convenient place where I am. All right, so Morton, tie-dye is 2,250 above sea level, 40 kilometres long, blimey. Although I imagine if you're climbing 2,200 metres over 40 kilometres, the average gradient isn't going to be desperately hard. Kevin Flam in Baltimore, hello there. Well, I'm glad to have helped. With regard to the spoke key, I think most multi-tools have one built in. Ah, that's very interesting. I've got one of these multi-tools, and I must admit a couple of things on there. No idea what they do. So I will go out immediately after this this live stream and have a look at my multi-tool and see if I have a spoke key on there. Yes, North Carolina. Do I have any experience touring with luggage? No, unfortunately I don't. The most I've ever cycled with has been a backpack that has contained, a change of clothes for me. When I did the Paris Hayling, basically I cycled from Hampshire to Paris and back, so that was over 5 days. We were staying in hotels, and all of the luggage was transported for us. We'd pick it up at the hotel in the evening, drop it off in the morning when we set off, and it was moved to the next hotel. All are great. Must get some jobs done. Catch you on the next one. Well, have fun, Paul. Yeah, hopefully see you on the next one. Same with GoPro mic. Even basic computer, measure speed. Yep. Yes, they are part of Wiggle. I say it every single time anyone talks about Wiggle. I can remember Wiggle when it was literally a corner bike shop in Southsea. And in fact, one of these days, I might make a film about the history of Wiggle and where they are and stuff. Because it's a very, very local company to where I am here. In fact, one of my sort of cycling chums still kind of works for one of the very, very first founders of Wiggle. So Martin, you also have a power meter, and this helps me in my training. Don't need to train like a pro, but using basic data will improve your action. Make you, yeah. I would love to try a power meter, but they're just a little bit expensive. Now I have been contacted by a company in China that make power meters, and they want me to try one out. So fingers crossed, when they get the first couple of samples up together, I might be trying a power meter. But like you say, Martin, you know, I don't think you need to train like a pro. I know the pros train a lot on power. And again, it's something I'm going to have to look into a bit more and find out the advantages of it. But can't wait to try one out. PMs can help if you have a medical condition you need to input. Morton, do I watch GCN? Occasionally I do, but I wouldn't say I'm one of their most avid viewers. I think the issue for me is that it's aimed mainly at people who race, so that's the impression that I've got anyway. It's all about getting faster and just competing. So it's a little kind of outside of my sort of sphere of interest, really. Bad Rad, I've heard the only way to train for mountains is to train in mountains. Yeah, that's probably a fair thing to say. Yeah. How else? I mean, if you're going to ride up a mountain, let's say, I don't know, 10 kilometres, 15 kilometres at an average gradient of 5%, the only way you can train for that is to ride something similar. They do say that if you live in a flat area, you can try and ride into the wind, but even then I don't think that's going to kind of quite cut it. History of Wiggle, do it. Said like the Emperor in Star Wars. Jazz Renfro, I have Achilles tendonitis. Do you have any experience of this in cycling and recovery? Had it about 2 years now. I weigh 300 pounds, but I still ride and pull up. And pull kids in a train. Yeah, sorry. I've not really had any experience of Achilles tendonitis. It sounds very painful. Yeah, sorry I can't help. Buddy Wheels, sorry I'm late. Is this seat taken? No, it's completely free. Sit down and join in. Although I don't know how much longer I'm able to hold out against my other half wanting the conservatory back. James Social. Do I watch James Social Cycling? Sorry, I haven't sort of watched you recently. I may have to tune in, but if anybody's watching this and they fancy tuning in and watching James's channel, I'm sure he'll put a link to the channel in the chat here. GCN used to have a lot of tech stuff, also a lot of funny videos. Used to watch them when Matt was working. Looks like you've got OBS sorted. I wouldn't say I've got it sorted. I know you were asking me the other day if you had a question. Basically, I've just set the OBS running, and I'm now looking at all of this on the YouTube page. So OBS is kind of running in the background on a different screen now. You can always train on turbo. Lots of very useful workouts. Yeah. Yeah, I think the banter on there is, from what I've seen, quite good fun. Training some GCN trainers. Do I train HIIT? I think I'm going to have to start doing something like that as I'm approaching the end of my base miles thing. So yeah, I'm going to have to up the intensity and do some intervals and things like that. I've got a little hill that's only about 800 metres from my front door, and the hill itself's about 1.5 kilometres, and maybe what I could do is just have a little bit of a warm-up and then just blast up this hill 4 or 5 times and try and just get a bit faster each time. Now that could be like a hit session for me. The biggest advantage of turbo, your pedaling time is 100%. Yep, saying that earlier, while out on the road, it's anything between 50 and 95%, maybe even. Yeah, I doubt it would be under 50%, but yeah, certainly those little breaks in pedaling, even, you know, the 10-15 second ones where you're rolling, will give you a little bit of recovery. Okie doke, I can't believe I've been on here an hour and a half already, so unfortunately I'm going to have to go. But thank you everyone for joining in, and thank you for all your comments and everything. I hope wherever you are it's nice and warm and sunny and you're able to get out on your bike. If not, and you're under the quarantine and everything, I hope you're all safe and well. And yes, let's do this again another time. Thank you for watching.